G'day guys, welcome to EDTV. My name is Sean Baker, I'm a trainer at Extra Degree Training. Today we're going to talk about back to basics training. So EDTV is going to be all about just trying to educate my clients and educate the public about any topics relating to strength and conditioning, health, fitness, nutrition. We'll be doing that over the next few weeks, and I just really want to help people. That's what I'm here for. So if you stay tuned, we're going to give you a broad spectrum of different programs, different exercises, just different ideas in general, just so you guys can decide what's best for yourself. So like I said, I think it's fitting today, being the first ever episode, that we're going to go right back to basics. So as a PT, I find that I'm bombarded with a lot of people asking questions who don't have too much experience in the gym. So what we're going to be looking at doing today is what I would recommend for somebody who hasn't done any training before, hasn't done much lifting, and this is going to be really good just to promote some testosterone and get that body going. So I'm not going to be demonstrating the exercises today. I've got a special guest with me. So he's an INBA competitor, and he's also completing human movement at university at the moment, and he's a good friend and training partner, Joel Fowler, who I will constantly refer to as Chucky. And here he is. So thanks for coming on the show today, mate.
Alright, great to be here, Bakes.
Let's get stuck into it.
I'm ready to go, let's do it.
So when we talk about back to basics training, like I mentioned out there, we're talking about going back to your very basic compound move. So when we talk about a compound move, we're talking about a move that's going to encompass a wide variety of your joints. So we're not just going to isolate like most blokes going to a bicep curl. We're going to be using lots of joints here, plenty of movement, and with that big compound exercise, you're going to be releasing a lot of testosterone into your body. What testosterone does, as you probably know, helps you become stronger and bigger. That's what we want to aim to do when we're first starting out. So when we're talking about using our compound moves, we always want to start with our biggest muscle groups and slowly working it down into our smaller muscle groups. So unfortunately, I know there might be some people that aren't too happy, but our legs are our biggest muscle group, and that's what we're going to be starting with. So I like to always start my very basic programs, starting with squats. So today we're going to have Joel showing you just how to squat properly with the correct techniques and a couple of variations. So when we're doing a back squat here, it's very important to make sure you set yourself first. So a lot of people will just think about obviously the action of squatting, but to get yourself into a right position initially is really going to impact on the rest of your set. So we're just getting Joel to set himself here. So he's just going to make sure he's got a nice even grip on the bar, so you can see that he's using his thumbs in relation to the grooves on the bar to make sure it's nice and even. And it's about sort of the mid-upper trap there. So sometimes people get a bit uncomfortable, they'll place the bar too high and it will have a bit of an impact on their spine, or it'll be too low and it will start to slip down once they start to get a bit sweaty. If this isn't comfortable for you just with the bar, you also can have a pad. I'm sure most of the gyms have these, so this just places around, but because Joel has pretty well developed traps, he's pretty comfortable there and he's set to go. So now that we're set to go for the squat, he's all comfortable, is when we get into the movement. So he's going to go down for me here, he's going to go into a nice deep squat. So one of the really important things about a squat, and probably is what is probably stuffed up most of the time, is how deep you should be going. So really, if you want to encompass that whole leg, work the whole leg, we want to make sure that our hip joint is going below our knee joint. So it's easy when you look at yourself in a mirror there to indicate that. If you have real troubles to get down to that level, that's when you should probably start thinking about doing mobility work. And I'll get to some of that mobility work later on in the series. So as you can see here, really deep. He's got a nice straight back there. There's no rolling over. He's got a nice proud chest. And another really important thing you find is his heels are planted firmly on the ground. A lot of people, when they struggle with their mobility, they will lift their heels off the ground as they start to get a little bit more fatigued, and also if they have bad range of motion. So take it away, Jimmy. So now we've covered the squat, we're now going into the deadlift. So the deadlift, another big compound move, we're using plenty of joints, and it's going to really release a lot of testosterone. Deadlift is again one of those exercises that's probably misinformed. Some people aren't educated about it, and there's a lot of varying techniques that you might have to wrap your head around. So when Joel, we'll get Joel back out here, he's going to demonstrate deadlift for us, and we'll show you a few different variations. Again, so very important to set ourselves, like I said with the squat. We've got to make sure that when we're starting the movement, we're getting it right, because it's going to affect us for the rest of the set. So there's a few different grips that we can use for a deadlift. There's an overhand, an underhand, or an alternating. And this, it doesn't matter which one you use, it's all about what feels best for you. So Joel's going to show us an overhand here. An overhand grip is both hands over the bar when your thumbs are facing you. So I find a lot of people use this one here, probably a bit more comfortable on your wrists, but you still have that risk of the bar slipping out towards you because you don't have as much support through that thumb. The next is an underhand, so when your thumbs are facing the other way. Probably not as much used with the deadlift, but some people do use it. Again, with having your wrist the same way, it makes it a bit more comfortable, but you still have that risk of the bar now falling away from you. And the alternating is where you have one hand over, one hand under. This is the technique that I use. I just find it more comfortable in terms of really locking that bar in. If you find you can't, there's not as much risk of it sort of falling out each way, and it's going to give you a nice, strong grip to hold onto that big blade when you're lifting it up. So as you'll see in a second, Joel prefers his overhand grip. So he's going to be showing us what I use as a deadlift if you're trying to get bigger, so a bit of hypertrophy here. So what you'll find, you'll see some people in the gym, they'll continuously deadlift, so making sure that tension's on their muscles the whole time. There are some people that will also reset between each rep. So what I've found through experience, through study, is if you're keeping that tension on the muscle, that's going to be better for making you bigger. So it's going to help to tear those muscle fibers and help with some hypertrophy. So just show us some deadlifts, keeping that tension on, Joel. Beautiful. And again, you notice, really straight back. I could almost eat my dinner off that bag. There's beautiful. Making sure he keeps the bar nice and close to his body. Again, heels planted on the ground. And you notice he really sticks his chest out at the top, nice proud chest. He's not letting those shoulders roll over. That's really good form and really good posture. So now that we've done a continuous deadlift there, we'll show you what it looks like if we're going to reset every time. So again, like I said before, really focusing on that strength. So the whole purpose of the reset is to make sure that your posture is good from the bottom of the movement, making sure that you switch every muscle fibre on in the correct order and all at the same time. So take it away for us, Joel. We've done our first two big compound moves. Now we're moving away from the free weights and just going to be using our body for this one. So I know it might be a dreaded word to some people, but we're doing chin-ups now. So we're going to head up into the bar. We're going to show you a couple of different varieties and how they're going to impact your body differently. So we'll get Joel up there. So here we go up in the chin-up bar here. As you can see with his hands, we've got overhand grip here. So this is really going to be a focus through those lats. See, he has a nice straight body again. It's always about keeping that body straight. We never want to bend over, we want to make sure we keep that posture good. You see he's getting his chin above the bar each time, really squeezing back through his back. And you can also, if you want to, you are allowed to curl your legs up at the back, as long as your body doesn't move from that position. So we really want to make sure that we're not doing any dolphin kicks. The dolphin kick is just where you're sort of shaking your body, whether it be using your abs or your legs to get up instead of your lats. And also, it's probably a bit more beneficial in this position for taller guys with their legs covered up. And also, if you want to get your partner, your training partner, to do some assisted chin-ups when they start to struggle at the end. If you see, it's a nice lift, this helps them out a little bit more. Good work, Joel. So now we've got a good view up here with Joel, just get a different angle on it. And this time you can see he's going underhand grip. So you're still working the lat there, but also get a bit more biceps. So this this is a good one for any of you people who want to get a little bit of a beach muscle in there as well. So you're still getting to do a chin up, and it's also probably a little bit easier. You're bringing a few more muscles when you're doing underhand grip, so it makes it just that bit easier for beginners. Alright, so we've done 3 big compound moves now. We're going to finish it off with some shoulders and with some military press. So military press, again, the smallest of our compound moves, but still very beneficial for upper body. So just going to be working through our shoulders and triceps mainly at the top. So we'll get Chucky to come in. He's starting to get a bit fatigued, but we're almost there. Alright, so here we are with the military press, or the shoulder press, whatever you'd like to call it. So Chucky's again going to set himself, make sure everything's nice and even. Very important before every exercise. He's going to get underneath the bar, and all he's going to do, make sure his feet nice and even apart. Some people have one foot in front of the other. I prefer for stability, making sure that we're nice and even. And just going to pump it above his head. So really pushing up good. And you notice, again, we're not overarching that back. Some people try to get into too much weight too early, and they'll really get a big arch in their back, and probably not too good for your posture. So we've got great control here, pushing up, breathing as it goes up, breathing in to come back down. Alright, so we've done all our compound moves today. This is what I'd recommend for you beginners. So we've done our squat, our deadlift, our chin up, and our military press. And you can see by Chucky's physique here, he's an advanced lifter, and he's already looking pretty pumped up. How you feeling, mate?
I'm stuffed. Thank you.
That's good to hear, good to hear. So hopefully you guys got something out of that today, especially if you're beginners. So I'd like to thank you for tuning in today, guys. And if you have any questions at all, whether it be about something that you saw today in the episode, about basic training, or if there's anything you'd like to see in future episodes, it could be about anything to do with health, fitness, strength, I'd love to help you guys out. And like I said at the start of the show, it's all about giving you guys some free information and really deciding what's best for you. So if you do have those questions, I'd like you to post it up either below, or if you can post it on the Facebook page, just here. And I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. So thank you again, and we'll see you next time.